Welcome everyone. So this is the project that we have been working on in the past VisionPro videos. Let's have a look what we have covered till now, so that if you're watching this video for the first time, you will know where we are in terms of implementations. Previously we have covered you can switch between different windows using a state and then switch between the views. It will look like as if you are changing the size of the window. The second thing we have covered is how you can create multiple windows groups and then pass parameters, or you can say pass the data to the specific window group. And then also how you set the size of your volumetric windows. The next thing that we did, actually the last thing that we did in this one, was how to add scaling option to your entities in volumetric windows. That's where we are right now in terms of this project. The code has been pushed into GitHub. I will push this link into the description of the video. Other thing I have done with this one is, so you can go to commits. You will see these checkpoints here where I will add checkpoint. Okay, this is the commit that you can check out to look at the scaling code or any other codes. The other thing I have done is tags. So for example, we are at a position where we added the scaling to our view. So you can check out this tag or specific SHA, and then you will get the code for scaling. I will push this repo, whatever changes we'll do today here, and we'll create a new tag for this one. So what are we doing today? So we are going to cover attachments for the RealityView today, how you create attachments and how you interact with your attachments. There are two ways to do it. One is you create a model entity within the Reality Composer Pro, and then you give it an ID, and then you load that entity, and then you attach a SwiftUI view to that entity. That's one way to do it. Second way is you do it in your code. Today we are going to cover the programmatic way so that we can look at more of the RealityView attachments that are provided, and then in the next video we'll look at how we can do that in Reality Composer Pro. So to do that, let's probably build a new scene. So let's open the Reality Composer Pro, new scene, and let's call it attachments example. So we got this scene, so let's add something to this scene. Yeah, let's add that toy by plane. So once we add that, it will download the component for us. All right, so we got the plane here. You can do some stuff here, change the scale here. Like if you want to make it a little bit big when you render it in the code, but let's stick to 1:1, or maybe let's go to 12, so that it's a little bit bigger. So what I want to do is I want to show some information regarding this plane in the view. When I like this is the pilot, you know, this is the tail, these are the tires, so stuff like that, right? Just some views that we can attach to this model. So once we create this, so we save it. So that's our Reality Composer. You will see that our scene is now rendered here, right? So it's called toy biplane, and let's copy the name, and then let's go to our content view, actually go to our app, and we create another window group. This time let's use immersive space, right? And what we want to do is, so we create a new group. Let's call this immersive views, and then we create a new SwiftUI view, which we say like toy plane view, and here we will now let our scene name is equal to that's our scene name that we need to render. We can get our thing. So we need make, update, and attachment, right? So this is our content. As you can see that it is in out content, and this is our attachments. Right, and I'll paste the code here again. So content here, and then attachments here. So looks like we need to provide some attachment here. So let's say ID text, and then we provide a text. So this is where we provide our view. Let's say it's pilot. So that is our attachment, and let's call it pilot ID as well. So once you provide an attachment, we give it an ID. So this is now our attachment that will be supplied here. All right, so we have supplied an attachment. Now we need to put that attachment somewhere on the scene. So we are rendering the scene, we get the attachment, and get the pilot attachment. It will be attachment start entity for, we know the ID, so that's our entity, and let's put this into if let. So once we get the entity, once we get the attachment, now we want to put that attachment somewhere. So pilot attachment dot position is equal to sim d3, and then we go xyz, so it will be float, and we go 1, 1, 1, or we can just say repeating. We have set the position of the attachment. Let's do now add that to our entity. Add child entity, and that's our pilot attachment, right? So we have added it. So that's our view that we are rendering. Maybe let's give it a glass background effect so that we can see it. Now let's run it. All right, the simulator is running, but we didn't add a button to open our new view. So let's go up to our app in our immersive space. Let's render this view here, plane view, and give our immersive space an ID. Plane, right? And once we have that, let's go to our content view, and we add another button to open our immersive space. Open plane. So to open the immersive space, we need another environment, which is open immersive space, and then we say open immersive space. And once we get it, so we need a task, await, open immersive space, and the same way we pass an ID, we can pass the same stuff to this one. So let's run it again. Maybe let's change the positioning so that we can see the code and the simulator. Okay, open plane. Let's see if it loads. Okay, so it looks like it's not loading. Let's stop. Plane view, scene name. So that's our scene. Why it is? Oh, that's our toy plane. Okay, so that's our entity, but this is the scene that we have. So this is a scene that we actually need to render. So we need to enter the scene name, which is attachments example. So this is our model plane entity. So let's run it. Okay, so it has opened. So we had put the plane at 0, 0, 0, so it's down there. So we can see that our plane is there, but do we see our entity? So this is where our pilot view is. So you can see that your positioning of pilot is not where we want it. So it's the text is somewhere here because we have positioned it, 1, 1, 1. So in the immersive space, you don't know where your entities are because they can span anywhere, right, in your view. So the reason to show this one is this doesn't work in immersive space. So let's go back to our app and now change this to a window group, and then set our window style to volumetric. Let's change to maybe light mode, museum light. Okay, let's open the plane. So it should have opened somewhere. Oh no. Okay, so we have changed to window group, so we'll have to go back to our plane view, the content view, and we need to change this to now use open window. And once we do that, it will open the window, so we can get rid of this. We don't need it. And then run it again. Let's move a little bit in this space. Okay, and then toy plane. Okay, so we got our toy plane here now, right? And where is my, do I see my text anywhere? I don't, because I don't know where it is right now. So this is one of the problems with when you are positioning your elements, attachments based on the sizing. So let's fix the sizing of this window. Right, so that's the size. Let's give it 0.5, 0.5, and 0.5. Right, and then let's go back to our view, maybe add some padding around it so that it looks big, and then change maybe this one to, rather than fix 1, let's go to 0.2 or 0.2 and 0.2. So this should be a comma here. So that should go away. Let's run it again. So now you can see that our pilot is here, but again, it's not where we want it to be, right? So we want it to be back there. So we want to push it back a little. Let's try one thing that I want to show you guys is we can open the shapes, mesh, surfaces, bounds. So bounds is where it shows you where your element is. So we have rendered it as 0.2, 0.2, and 0.2. So what we want to do is we want to move it a little bit to the left, right, and then back. So this is X. So as remember this one. So this is Y, this is X, this is Z. So we want to move X. So let's move X to 0.5, right? And let's see where it opens up. I think it has gone out of the bound. So let's go 0 and let's see where it renders. So 0 is where it is, it's at the center of this one, right? So this is where it is rendered. So we want to push it back now. So we want to say XYZ. So we want to push it back. So let's push it to 0 as well. Because that's the center of our plane. All right. So you can see that our pilot is now, it is there right now. So this 0 and 0 y-axis. So let's go back to our Reality Composer again. Open this guy. So if we look at our center here, right? So that's our center 0, 0, 0, right? If I move this plane here, you will see that now our entity will render at 0, 0 above here. So I have saved that, and let's rerun it now. Open toy plane. You can see that now my entity has gone outside my window because I have a smaller window. So we can again go open bounds. You can see that it has gone out, but you can see that my attachment has now moved. My attachment has now moved to this point because now this is the 0, 0, 0 point, and this is showing above, a little bit above. So you have to manage your attachments if you are doing it in coding based on your real world positioning here in the Reality Composer, and then you come to this positioning and then you say, okay, I want to open 0, 0, and then this is X, Y. Y is always, remember, Y is always like the up. So I'm like opening it a little bit above the 0, 0 positioning. So this is how you can add your attachments, and this is how you then find that attachment and then set its positioning and add it to your scene. You get the same attachments in your update call as well. Like if you're rotating or anything, or when you're scaling, then you need to, whatever action you want to do on your attachment, you have to do the same thing here. Find that attachment and do whatever action you want to do on that attachment. So this is for today's video. We'll look at how we can add the attachments by adding an entity in the Reality Composer and then adding a SwiftUI view to that. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.